things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, The Randi Rhodes Show.
He doesn't have to stand there and say about Putin this, Putin that, all negative things. He's got to say, I want to make peace. I don't want to fight a war any longer.
I think that Donald Trump's boyfriend, his benefactor, his puppet master, the guy that, is pulling the strings on his presidency, he's upset because he thinks Zelensky insulted Putin. Now, Zelensky wasn't insulting anybody. You understand that, right? And it was J.D. Vance. And at the very beginning, why don't you wear a suit? The whole thing was set up to humiliate this man who is, leading a country under, attack, who has been leading a country through 3 brutal cold winters with an aggressor who keeps on shooting at their electric grid and taking down their nuclear power plants in the midst of winter to try and freeze people to death. That is his adversary. That is who he is trying to, get out of his country. And they're asking him about his clothing. They're asking him about his clothes. Now, you may have noticed he said, when this war is over, I will wear a costume. That's because in Ukrainian, the word for suit is costume. That's how it translates. But people are like, why is he calling what we wear a costume? Because you're stupid. You're just an idiot, okay? You don't understand anything about anything to do with this. Now, last week also at the United Nations, and this was stunning to me, really. The United Nations was taking a vote in support of Ukraine, and the United States refused to back Ukraine. And so you kind of knew what was up with Donald Trump for real when it came time to actually take a vote on whether or not we support Ukraine. And we said, no, we don't, and joined the likes of Iran, North Korea, Russia, Belarus, Hungary. That's who we are now. That's who we are now. That's why I say, we're not going to have a free press very much longer. We're certainly, not going to have any sort of a American guarantee that you could take to the bank on anything, whether it's your veterans benefits, whether it's your Medicare, whether it's your Social Security, whether it's your Medicaid, whether it's your EBT card, whether it's your Social Security check for disability. Nothing means anything anymore because we have a man who doesn't value anything that has, been agreed to for 80 years. So, listen, this whole thing, and I'm listening to the right wing try and make what happened in the Oval Office seem like the person who caused it was the man whose country is under attack. Now, remember, we did not support them at the UN last week, nor did we say that Ukraine was attacked. Donald Trump was alleging last Thursday, not a week ago Thursday, like Friday last and then Thursday and then the week before that, he was saying that Ukraine could have stopped this. How did they allow this war? How did they allow this war to start? As if Ukraine attacked itself. And it was just stunning, the whole thing. And you kind of knew where this was going. But to watch it unfold in real time on the TV after it had been predicted by the Russian media, the state-run media, that this was the plan, was to ambush Zelensky, was to embarrass him, humiliate him, actually, to humiliate him on television globally and get people to say he's not the right leader. And now I understand why. Vladimir Putin knows Zelensky is a strong, smart, serious leader for Ukraine and has been through the last 3 years, okay? He is a person who will listen to any sort of a ceasefire deal, but it has to be backed up with security guarantees because Ukraine has been backstabbed by us so many times, it's almost unthinkable that they would still come to us in any way, shape, or form. In 1991, I like to start there because this was the first horrendous shiv in the back, okay? When Ukraine first pulled away from the Soviet Union, they had nukes. They had lots and lots of, stray nukes. They had a lot of stuff laying around, okay? And the United States and Europe said, in exchange for security guarantees, will you give up your nuclear weapons? Ukraine agreed to do that. They did give up their nuclear. I can't say it. I'm thinking of W now. Their nuclear weapons. I don't know what that is. And we did not give them we said that, they could count on us. Oh, we'll give them a security guarantee, okay? And that lasted through a few presidencies. It did. And then all of a sudden, you had Donald Trump at the urging of J.D. Vance turning on Zelensky and saying he is playing with World War III. I would just like to point out to the idiots that actually approached me from the other side and said, yeah, but you got to understand, Zelensky could start World War III, and this has to end. And I don't really care how it ends. I really don't, because I don't know that place. I don't know what goes on over there. They don't speak English, and I don't know what goes on over there. But I know Zelensky, could start World War III. And I'm like, how? Just say that and just quiet down for a minute. Let the air get filled by their thoughts on how in the world Zelensky could start World War III. Right, he can't. He hardly has, defensive weapons at this point, okay? So, and he obviously does not have nuclear weapons. He gave them up in exchange for a security guarantee from us. So who has nuclear weapons in this conversation? Who does? That's right, the aggressor, the war criminal, Vlad, the thug, the liar, the oligarch, the cheat, the guy who kills his political opponents, the guy who has fake elections, okay? The guy who literally has people killed with poisons, various poisons, depends on his mood, I guess. But Zelensky's going to start World War III, and he must be stopped. I mean, this propaganda is so special. I've never seen it like this ever, and it's all because there's now social media, there's TikTok for the younger people, and this is the message that's constantly being pumped out, right? This is like a cyber war that's happening by virtue of algorithm on social media platforms, plural. So, color me surprised when I opened up the newspaper today, and it literally tells me that Pete Hegseth, that's right, the Fox Weekend host, who's now our Secretary of Defense. No, they're not breaking America. No. Ordered our cyber command that polices Russia's ransomware attacks and cyber attacks on our hospitals lately. That's just the latest cyber attack. It's been on our hospitals. Hegseth ordered our cyber command to stand down and leave Russia alone. Why? Well, he says he has to because they're trying to get Vladimir Putin to the table. You mean he hasn't agreed to the mineral deal?
Call in, connect. To speak to Randi, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are not strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
What?
Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You
God bless. You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
I
You don't
was
have
in
the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you don't.
I'm
Yeah,
very
you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III.
You are.
And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
That's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
I'm very
they
respectful.
should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
you said thank you.
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for
What-
the United States
what
of
are you speaking
America
about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Okay, there's so much disgusting crap in that. Okay, so again, World War III. If anybody's playing with it, it would be Donald Trump. We're a nuclear power. Russia's a nuclear power. Ukraine, no. Okay, so that's garbage, right? That's garbage in, garbage out. At the very beginning, who invited the cameras in there? Who invited Newsmax and Breitbart? Who invited, the right-wing media and the television cameras so that you could humiliate him globally on television? Was it Zelensky? Does he control the Oval Office? Does he control the U.S. press corps? No, I would say no. So therefore, it was you that invited and put this on television so that you could show or try to show that Zelensky is an ingrate and he doesn't deserve the money and America shouldn't support him and his country and we should just let Russia have it. That's what that was for. They want to get rid of Zelensky. Putin knows Zelensky is tough. He knows he's smart. He knows he cares a great deal about the Ukrainian people. He knows he talks to everybody with respect and care. Zelensky will talk to, an old lady in Mariupol the same way he talks to, me or the president of the United States or you. Each and every person is a respect. There's a respect that he shows to each and every human being. This is no good for Vladimir Putin because he's a lizard. He's a lizard, a cold-blooded lizard. He's a little guy,
Watching that, Randy, honestly, is like watching the death of everything that used to make me proud to be an American. It's watching the death of everything I thought America stood for when I was growing up. It's the death of it.
Yeah, it is. America's over. It is over. It may start back up again one day when we change presidents and we change administrations and we change Congress and we change the Senate and we change, Doge into some joke. But right now, we are literally watching America be taken apart for the benefit of people. And I kept saying, to people who say, we got to get rid of the deep state. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So now is the Department of Education the deep state? Is that a cyber command? Is that the deep state that monitors these ransomware attacks on our hospitals, that monitors the Russian influence campaigns that are out there right now on TikTok saying that Zelensky could start World War III? With what? What could he start World War III with? His Vulcan mind meld. He could do it with his mind. But, we're 2 seconds away from hearing oceans no longer protect us when we get attacked. Why? Because we have a president who pretends that he's some sort of a peacemaker. Yeah, that's Trump. Trump's a real peacemaker, except when it comes to, Gaza. Then that needs to be, ethnically cleansed. So he can build his new Atlantic City on the oceanfront property that was Gaza. Don't tell me this guy is a peacemaker. This guy he's been blackmailed somehow by Vladimir Putin. It's been going on a really stinking long time, almost 11 years now. 11 freaking years. And if you look at people that watch the Russian press and understand what they're saying, they will tell you that this is all something that Donald Trump was told it was something that Donald Trump was explained, and that in November, when he freaking won, they told him there were some forces out there that helped you, and now you're obliged to pay them back. That is true. Russia, Russia, Russia. See, and the only thing that upset him was when Zelensky said, Vladimir Putin, doesn't keep his word. Like I said, we started in 91, but there were two other agreements. There was a Minsk agreement, and then there was Minsk II. And the agreements had prisoner swaps. The agreements had a cessation of occupation. It had, Russia going back to Russia's borders. They signed on to it. Ukraine did. Russia did. And their word in Russia meant nothing. There was no prisoner swap. There was no release. There was no pullback. There wasn't nothing like that ever even remotely happened. So it's just breathtaking that somehow in this scenario, Zelensky is the ingrate. He's the bad guy. He's on the grift. He's taking billions of dollars. You know where the billions of dollars go, right? Morons on Twitter and TikTok. You do know where the money goes, right? So any money that we have given or laid out or loaned, 20 billion of it was a loan, even though Donald Trump lies about the total amount. 350, the total amount is 100 billion. It's a lot of money. 75% of it comes right back here. That's right. To build the weapons and send them to him. So guess what? They had this summit in Europe this weekend. The UK ponied up billions. And now the missiles, the defense missiles, they're going to come from Ireland. That's right. Now the money goes to Ireland. What a great president we have. Really looking out for us. Looking out for the American people. Protecting the American dream. I mean, it sucks that we make, the world's weapons. But hell, we make most of them. Israel, they come in second. But no. Now they're going to go to Ireland to get the defense missiles. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.